In a lot of ways, watching YouTube is kind of a waste of time. And you probably already kind of think this. The reality is that watching YouTube is a little bit of a waste of time, but it really depends kind of where you're at in your self improvement and just in life in general. If you're at a level where you're a complete genius, there's nothing you need to know, and you already know exactly what you need to do, and you already have the discipline and the motivation to do everything that you need to do, you don't need to watch YouTube videos, and if you are wasting your time. When you don't have that discipline yet and you don't have the motivation and you barely even started improving your life, watching some good content can really get the ball rolling. And I'll explain to you how this works. When you're watching a YouTube video, especially early on, maybe someone who's just getting into this self-improvement thing and they see like Andrew Tate on YouTube Shorts or even a full-length YouTube video, or they see Hamza or Jordan Peterson or Brandon Carter, David Goggins, all these amazing creators. When they watch them on YouTube, they kind of get these feelings in the back of their head, these thoughts. Man, what am I doing? I should be taking action. What am I doing? I should be doing this shit right now. Eventually, these thoughts will build up until you actually do take action. And when you watch these videos, it's going to expand your mind and change your beliefs and your thoughts, which will then in turn change your actions and your habits. It's important that you're watching the right stuff. Everybody's heard the quote that we're the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So what you want to make sure you're doing is picking the right people to watch, because you want to pick the people that you want your mind to be the most influenced by. Because we can't help it. If we watch people, we're going to be influenced by them, and we're going to kind of mimic their personality a little bit just from watching them. So these YouTubers are the people that changed my perspective on life, and in turn, changed my life as a whole. So the first one is, of course, Mr. Tate himself. Andrew Tate, regardless of what you think about him, and regardless of what you think about the situations that are going on right now, he's not really a YouTuber, but more so a business, entrepreneur, influencer. He has a large presence online. He is the main guy who got me to start going to the gym consistently. Andrew Tate's mindset definitely rubbed off on me. Through watching Andrew Tate's content, I adopted more of a stoic mindset. I started doing things even when I didn't feel like it. I adopted a level of confidence that I didn't have before. I started taking myself more seriously, and I started really building up the foundation of who I want to be. Even with all the shit that's going on right now around him, he was incredibly motivational to me, and I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably resonate 100% with that. And I might get hate for talking about this guy, but I don't care. He helped me, and he might help you. And that's really what I'm trying to do on this channel. So, number 1 is Andrew Tate. And the next guy that influenced me is obviously Hamza. So, a lot of you probably see that if you've seen him, which I'm sure you have. My demographic is like 18 to 24 is 50% of you guys, and I've even gotten comments that say that I remind you of Hamza. So, Hamza is the guy that inspired me to meditate, to journal. He inspired me to make these videos, which is probably the most important thing. And he inspired me to read more books. And I really appreciate this guy as a YouTuber. And I'm sure you guys have found value in his content and motivation. And he gives some extremely solid advice. He can be pretty relatable to a lot of us because he's only been doing this really for a couple years, and he's achieved a great level of success. So yeah, the next guy is Hamza. The next YouTuber or influencer that I guess changed my life in a way was Brandon Carter. So Brandon Carter has an amazing personality, especially for YouTube. He's charismatic, he's confident, he gets what he wants, he wakes up at 4:30 a.m., he does the hard work even when he doesn't feel like it, and he inspired me a lot to make money, to be honest. And I think that I made a video about why I think we should make money and why I think it's important, and it seems like a lot of people don't even value entrepreneurship that much. They look at entrepreneurs and they say, oh, he's a douchebag. Oh, he's selling this. He's just trying to sell stuff, just trying to make some money off of us. But we don't realize that entrepreneurship is something that makes up half of our lives. We're using apps like YouTube because someone had to make that. We're using Instagram and TikTok, supporting all these businesses with our money and our time, and not really thinking about the fact that somebody had to start that business. Doesn't matter. they were an entrepreneur, maybe they were a complete asshole, but entrepreneurship is extremely valuable in the world, and I don't think it's as shallow as a lot of people make it out to be. But this Brendan Carter guy loves to make money, and he's not shy about it. And he's really interesting because he has a really cool lifestyle, and I just like his perspective on stuff. And one thing that really influenced me from Brandon Carter is his stress management tactic. So in his video called They Lied to You About Burnout, he tells about this stress management tactic where you break down your stressors into projects and conflicts. And then what you do on that table is next to each one on those list of them, maybe you're moving, maybe you got to make YouTube videos, you got to study for school, you have a girlfriend, whatever. You look at those things on the list and you write next to it F's, D's, or P's. P is for plan, D is for delegate, and F is for F it. You don't care, it's out of your life. And this stress management tactic has actually really worked for me. I've had a surprising amount of stress reduction from this, and I encourage you guys to try it out. I've been able to use this to work harder and to genuinely just improve a lot of aspects of my life. And he also instilled the belief in me to do what would make failure impossible. Everybody kind of talks about doing your best, doing the best of your ability, give 110%. But the reality is, if you truly want to succeed, you don't do your best. You do what would make failure impossible. You do what is necessary to succeed. And if you do what is necessary to succeed, what would make failure impossible every single day until you succeed, obviously there's no way you can lose. And he also encourages the idea that if your best isn't what would make failure impossible, you improve yourself, therefore improving what your best is. I think this is an excellent way to look at pursuing goals, and I think that philosophy changed my life. And the next guy I want to talk about is Alex Hormozi. So Alex Hormozi has a very hardworking mentality, but also a very no BS approach to things. He encourages everybody to focus on one business and one business only. And if you look at the history of Alex Hormozi, he did not follow his own advice. And he actually had like 15 to 20, I don't even know what the number is. He had 1 million businesses. He talks about this in his videos, and he says, I would have made so much more money if I just stuck to my first one, Gym Launch. And he's also a firm believer in don't do your best, do what is necessary to win. I've seen in the comment sections of his videos or just people talking about him, there's a lot of different thoughts and philosophies that he uses for life that a lot of people resonate with even more than I do. So I encourage you to watch some of his content and see for yourself. He has a lot of good things to say, and everybody can learn something from him. I also watched his video on his perspective on gratitude. Instead of doing the gratitude journaling and meditating that a lot of people encourage, that I actually encourage myself, he views his life from the perspective that he's already 80 years old and he's viewing it from a nostalgic perspective. Like, he's looking at the things that he's doing from the lens of somebody who's looking back in his memory. And I've actually tried this myself, and I actually started doing this a little bit before I even learned about it from Alex Hormozi. I would look at the world as if I had already been here and I'm just thinking back to it. And it's honestly an amazing way to get your gratitude up, be in a better mood, and just be feeling better in general. The next guy I want to talk about was even way before all this stuff about Tate, Hamza, Alex Hormozi, and Brandon Carter. I want to talk for a second about Sneeko. So Sneeko's interesting because he hasn't always been on this kind of rebellious, inspiring, almost self-improvement kind of thing. He was just making kind of video essay type content with really beautiful editing, and he would upload like a 2-minute video every 69 months. And I really liked his videos. And then he started live streaming a while ago. I think it was 2020, maybe late 21, 22, I'm not sure. And I just remember he was blasting Rage Against the Machine and doing push-ups on his stream. And it was honestly hilarious, but at the same time, this is what got the ball rolling for me even before everyone else. it got the ball rolling for me to start working out. And this was even before I was going to an actual gym. I had some weights at home, and this dude doing push-ups that I'd watched before for years started talking about like escaping the matrix and freeing yourself from the bots, and he was blasting Rage Against the Machine, and it really just almost expanded my mind a little, and I just started getting hyped up. I started getting hyped up to improve myself and to really just, break free or wake up. This was kind of the inciting incident that made me want to start all this. From there, these other people helped me out actually far more than Sneeko did. But I just want to say that Sneeko actually helped me a lot and got the ball rolling just from those streams. And the last guy I want to talk about is David Goggins. We all know David Goggins from those clips on YouTube Shorts and of him running, calling you a bitch, and just all this stuff is very kind of cliche motivational stuff. But I actually learned a lot from David Goggins just from his mindset. It sounds brutal, but about the fact that suffering makes you happier in a way and makes you really get to know yourself. I'm definitely not running 100 miles and just doing the crazy mayhem that David Goggins gets up to, but I've been doing some cold showers. I've been getting in the gym for a while. I've been thinking more introspectively like he encourages to do, and overall he's been a big inspiration to me and has helped me out a lot. I'm sure you guys have seen his stuff, and I encourage you to watch it. And on that note, I hope you guys have a great day.